Hello, this is Charlie Crimebuster, and this is a Charlie Crimebuster special. The special, the Golden State Killer. Well, this past week, 2 bombshells fell in the land of crime. Bill Cosby was found guilty by a jury of his peers for sexual assault. And get this, the biggie, the Golden State Killer, after 40 years on the run, was arrested. This is Charlie Crimebuster. This is a special about the Golden State Killer, also known as the East Area Rapist, the original Night Stalker, and the Diamond Knot Killer. This criminal terrorized thousands of people in the Golden State of California. And so today we're going to look at a quick outline of his events. A timeline, if you please. After the timeline, we're going to talk about some erroneous thinking about serial killers. And we're going to wrap it up with some lessons that you can learn to keep you and your family safe. All as a result of this story about the Golden State Killer. He actually had quite an interesting background, you'll see in a moment. It was this past week that law enforcement, both federal and local, served an arrest warrant on 72-year-old Joseph D'Angelo in the Citrus Heights area, a suburb of Sacramento, California. Now, authorities stated that the retired mechanic D'Angelo, well, he appeared surprised. And as they were getting ready to take him off, he said, "Hey, I got a roast in the oven," as they cuffed him and toted him away. Now, D'Angelo, in his early years, he served in the United States Navy. 22 months. Served in North Vietnam off a ship. Received some accommodations. Upon his discharge, he attended Sierra College, and there he received an associate degree. And of all things, it was in police science. He left there, went to college, and there he completed his college with a bachelor degree in criminal justice. You know, it was probably this training that helped get him so much cover, concealment, and kept him free while he went around with wreaking havoc. Now, in 1973, D'Angelo met and married his wife. His wife, by the way, who became a successful lawyer, who actually was quite prominent there, handling some national women issues. They had 3 children together, one an emergency room physician, another a grad student. He's now divorced. D'Angelo got his first job working as a police officer. Yep, that's right, a police officer. And there's a little small town there in the area there in Northern California. Now think about that, the Golden State Killer, a cop, a police officer. In that small town, during the time that D'Angelo worked there, there was a rash of break-ins. In fact, about 100 burglaries in that area. These houses were ransacked, people felt violated, all done by someone who reportedly had a ski mask. While it was relatively a safe community, not much crime, well, they experienced over 100 break-ins. Now, when D'Angelo left that area, when he left that small town there in Northern California, and all around the area of that little town, there were all kinds of break-ins. And when he left that to take another job with another police department, those break-ins, they all but stopped. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that's probably where our suspect got his experience of breaking and entering, ransacking homes, taking stuff out of homes, breaking into homes. The Golden State Killer, I believe, started out breaking into houses, became quite proficient in it, committed over 100 break-ins in a couple of years, and did not get caught. So now, D'Angelo, he's in Auburn, California, working with the police department there. And this is where we see his crime escalates. You see, not only is he breaking and entering, but now his campaign of violence, it turns to raping women. You see, at first, it was single young women that were being raped. Now, he's confident he will not be caught. After all, he's broken into over 100 homes without fear of arrest. So now his crime escalates more, because not only does he now rape single women. Actually, he had read an article about how this guy would prey on single women. So he takes it up another step, and now he breaks into the homes of couples. That's right, couples, husbands and wives together. And he had this MO. You see, he was good at breaking and entering. Mostly he used the sliding glass doors, an easy way to break into. Always single-level homes. He was also known to recon the area, plan out his attacks. He shows up in the middle of the night or early morning with a flashlight, blinding the victims. And then he'll use shoelaces that are either already there or he'll bring them with him to tie up the couple. He has the woman tie the man up first. He may have to secure that a little more, but he has the woman tie up the man, usually under knife or gunpoint. And then he ties up the woman. He would then take the woman out of the room, and before he raped them, he would bring plates, cups, saucers, put it on the back of the man and say, hey, if I hear these moving around, I hear one break or move around, then I'm going to kill your wife and I'm going to come back and kill you. It was this terror, this fear that he used to control these victims. He would then rape the woman, sometimes repeatedly. Now, according to some victims, he would stay in the home for a period of time. He'd take jewelry, rare coins when he left. He would eat their food, and he would drink their beer. He's known to have raped at least 45 women, probably more. Some rapes go unreported, as you probably know. And of these women, the youngest woman, 13 years of age, actually a girl. Now, during this time, he almost gets caught because there was a young couple by the name of Brian and Kate. They were walking their dog one evening in the neighborhood when they came upon a strange man, prowling the neighborhood. Now, we don't know all the details at this moment, but we know that people were afraid for their lives. We know that people were looking out for this rapist. And so one of Brian's relatives believes that Brian, knowing Brian, the kind of guy that he is, that he attempted to capture him. And in the process, the rapist becomes a killer. He shoots Brian to death. Then he runs down Brian's wife, Kate, shoots her, kills her. In 1979, D'Angelo made another mistake. He gets caught, but wait a minute, not for what you think. Of all the things, he was shoplifting at the Pay and Save store there in Citrus Heights. As a result, he lost his job as a police officer. In October of 1979, he takes his crime terror to south of the state. Remember, as a law enforcement officer, he already knows how, particularly back at that time, jurisdictions just often did not communicate very freely across jurisdiction lines. He moved around from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but this time he moves much further south. And there's another change in his MO. He gets down to the beautiful city of Santa Barbara, attacks a couple. Fortunately, that couple gets away. He has to escape. He steals a bike. And he hightails it out to wherever his getaway car was, and he leaves, uncaught, unrecognized. However, it didn't take him a long time to make another try, and he came back, and boy, did he come back with a vengeance. In January, in Goleta, just north of Santa Barbara, he broke into the home of Dr. Robert Offerman and his wife, Dr. Alexandria Manning, tied them up, did his thing, shot them both to death. He's now escalated. He does more than rape women. He appears now to be on a killing spree. The violence intensifies. March the 13th, 1980, in Ventura, California, another coastal town. He breaks into the home of Lyman and Charlene Smith. He does his thing. He rapes her before bludgeoning them both to death while they're tied up with a solid piece of firewood. The well-planned rapist now becomes messy, leaves a horrific crime scene behind him. In July of 1981, he kills another couple in Goleta, California. In August the same year, a single woman living alone in Irving. Now we're looking at approximately 10 to 11 kills attributed to him. D'Angelo experiences another life event. 6 weeks after the latest killing, D'Angelo's first daughter is born. First daughter. And the killing stops. For 5 years, the killing stops. In January of 1983, his family moves into Citrus Heights, that home that D'Angelo took such care of, neighbors say, to the point of getting on his knees, trimming the grass around the rocks in the yard. For 5 years, killing stops. Then in January 1986, 5 years later, his last known victim, Janelle Cruz. Janelle Cruz was raped and killed in her home in Irvine, California. Janelle was only 18 years of age. Let's look at the timeline. Starts with breaking and entering, stealing and ransacking. Escalates to rape. Almost gets caught. Kills to escape. To keep eyewitnesses coming forward. Loses his job. Takes his crime spree south. Escalates to killing. Last kill, 1986, he stopped. And you know, on all of this moving around, breaking and entering, a burglar, raping women, a rapist, and now a killer, law enforcement were not able to put it together that the same man was breaking and entering, the same man was raping women, the same man was killing people. Not to 2000 did they put that together. Now, some 40 years later, the Golden State Killer, D'Angelo, is arrested. How did that happen? Well, it was simple. It was technology that got him. You see, while DNA was not that much a factor when he began, it became the most important factor in catching the Golden State Killer. DNA found at the crime scenes and kept. They had the rapist killer's DNA. That was one way they were able to tie the suspect from burglar to rapist to murder. From Northern California to Southern California, all through DNA and other evidence. They knew through DNA that it was the same person and through his MO, but they did not know the identity of that person. Then they did something most interesting. They submitted that DNA to one of the websites that help people find their ancestors. By this, they were able to tie it to the family member who had submitted their own DNA to find their family members, and then all it took was finding someone who would be around the same age of the killer now, and who lived in those areas and had access to those areas, and it all came down to D'Angelo. They still didn't have proof that it was him, though, so they put him under surveillance, watched him, followed him around, waiting until he left his DNA in a public area. Took that DNA, they got the match, and the rest is now history. The Golden State Killer, after 40 years, is arrested. Now, one of the puzzling parts of this intriguing, horrible story is, why did he stop raping and killing? Some people believe that people like this just can't stop. That's a myth. It's erroneous thinking. There's actually a few myths and erroneous thinking out there about serial killers. One is that now the Golden State Killer is caught. We have no more serial killers out there. So don't worry, folks. We got them all under arrest. That's not true, my friend, sadly. The FBI estimates today that there's 25 to 50 serial killers operating throughout the United States at any given time. 25 to 50. Another myth is that all serial killers are male. Not true as well. The fact is, female serial killers are documented throughout history. 70% of serial killers are women. 70%. Now, that's even though 10%, only 10% of total murders are committed by women, but by serial killers, 17%. All serial killers are white Caucasian, some people think. Again, erroneous thinking. Truth is, serial killers are male and female, white and African American, Latino, Asian American. They come in all sorts and sizes and all sorts of race. There's another way of erroneous thinking, and some people think that serial killers will not stop killing until caught or killed. That's not true as well. You see, that's evident with the Golden State Killer. He stopped after around 12 murders and over 45 rapes. That's nothing new. The BTK killer, remember him? He stopped back in 1991. That was 14 years before he was caught. The Green River Killer, Gary Ridgway, his murder spree spanned the first 2 marriages. But it stopped after his 3rd marriage. He said it was a happier marriage. Statistics tell us, and experts say, that change in stress levels Change of location, work opportunities, and even age can be a factor. You see, the Golden State Killer, he was almost 40 when he stopped. One FBI retired criminal profiler says that rape murders are really rare over the age of 50. Unlike pedophiles, where age is not that much of a factor, age is a factor in serial killing. Now, I'm sure we're going to continually find out more about what happened in D'Angelo's life in the days ahead. And anything we can find, well, anything that will help us apprehend others and prevent crime, that will be welcomed. But what can we learn today about the Golden State Killer? I jotted down a couple of quick things as we wrap it up. Number one, beware of those that are hiding in plain sight. Be careful who you have in your home. Vet vendors. Keep strangers away. If you recall, Elizabeth Smart was kidnapped because her parents, they allowed a homeless man to come to their home to do work, thought they were doing good, being a good example to the children, ended up putting their daughter in grave danger. She was kidnapped, continually raped, while kidnapped by this so-called strange, evil, cruel man. Number two, take advantage of improved crime prevention tools and lessons. Today, we are much better equipped to protect our homes. We have 911 where we can call and get immediate response. Alarms can be activated and get immediate response. Sadly, one of the Golden State Killer rape victims called the operator, because back in those days you called the operator 0 and you asked the operator to get the police. She did that as her home was being broken into. Phone rang 20 times. The operator was busy helping other people. She was raped before she could reach the police. Number three, fortify your castle. Use locks that work, have doors that are secure, and alarm your home. The Golden State Killer was smart enough to know that he would not attempt to break into a home that would be difficult to break into, or one that was alarmed. As someone said, just make sure your home is the most difficult one on the block to break into. Now, this concludes our Charlie Crimebuster special on the Golden State Killer. Hey, maybe you'd like to take a quiz to check out your own knowledge about serial killers. We have one. We'll send you the link. Just reach us. Email us, charliecrimebuster@gmail.com, charliecrimebuster@gmail.com. And also, please include any comments or suggestions that you might have about the broadcast. Till this next time, Charlie Crimebuster saying, hey folks, please, stay safe out there. The life you save, well, it just might be your own.